Let me bring in Ambassador Khan into the discussion also. Ambassador Khan, the trends, are these trends surprising for you as far as the election results of the Indian election is concerned? Because we saw during the election campaign and the kind of promises or the kind of factors on which Bharatiya Janata Party tried to capitalize on. Do you see a surprising trend this time around and a considerable improvement in the performance of Indian National Congress? Ambassador Khan, please unmute yourself, kindly. Ambassador Khan, we can't hear you properly.
Yeah, remarkable.
Please go ahead.
Remarkable performance by the Congress and remarkable performance by Rahul Gandhi. I have monitored some of his speeches and campaign during his campaign, how he has been campaigning and how he's been engaging with the voters and supporters in the crowd. The crowds, if we monitor, his crowds in many respects, many places were much bigger and much larger than the crowd which was projected by all the media with different camera tricks and with different media covering tricks. But despite that, Rahul this time has performed, and Rahul during the campaign had fallen ill for some time. If he had not, then perhaps the results would have been even better. So from that standpoint, yes, it's about 600 million people voted, which is again really something which has to be acknowledged. And out of 1 billion almost registered voted. 44 days of this election, 7 phases. So this is, as you said, the largest democracy, but I would call it the largest now in last 10 years, in Modi's time, the largest authoritarian democracy of the world. And it's here that what was discussed by our other two panelists, I could now build my argument on that is there any apprehension of manipulation to whatever scale? Yes, we cannot rule out the possibility, because Modi, if there could be a manipulation at the highest court level, apex court level, then the manipulation at other levels like the election, although their election commission is quite robust and their previous performance has been acknowledged by various election monitors and the external election monitoring teams. But the way Modi had developed its trend, the way Modi had established his authoritarian democracy, the way he has been crushing the minority, the way he has been crushing the opposition. So from that standpoint, if we see that the election, although the counting started at 8, but the EVM results were being seen from 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Even the postal ballots were not opened until 8, although it was supposed to be. Now, the present situation, the figures you have already given, but the latest figure which I have got is 254 total seats. The leading, where all the parties together are 254 out of 543, and the total seat which has been won so far is 289 out of 553. So from that standpoint, there's 155 BJP. Once I monitored, now it's of course it has increased. The BJP has now, but BJP as a party by itself, not alliance, is 155, almost along that line. And Congress alliance is 118, and others are 16. So altogether 289. So still there are about 270, 275 seats. Results are being awaited. There could be some surprises, but now the trend, the way which we are seeing, it appears Modi would have a very slim majority as compared to sweeping majority, which was anticipated. But in the exit polls and the stock markets had gone much higher. The rupee dollar parity had gone higher. From this morning onward, the rupee parity with the Indian rupee parity with dollars have gone down. The stock markets have gone down. The bond premium has gone higher. So obviously these financial market people, they are the one, they really monitor it quite well, and they are the one they know the sensitivity of it. So it appears Modi with its alliance, with Modi alliance and NDP, so that would gain a very slim majority. What that is, does it imply? Now NDA, as probably you also mentioned, 296 almost, and India Alliance 230, and total is seats 543. So we'll have to really wait for some more results. But the trend, at least we can see, and it has been supported by the financial. The argument is being supported by the financial market sentiments, the way it's going. BJP in various constituencies have gone neck to various states have gone neck to neck. In fact, including Himachal Pradesh, the competition was very tough. Rahul, during his election campaign, had really incorporated some of the points in his manifesto and has been putting it across to the people at large. And one of them, which became very popular, that all the household female member, the head of household, and particularly the female member, would get 100,000 per person in India. And he was comparing it that the Modi benefited only 25 families, and he had a whole lot of a figure which he has been mentioning it during his engagement of the election campaign in front of the crowd. And he gained popularity, in fact, not only for these two by the slogans, but also his articulation and the way he was engaging. Modi had conducted with all the support and with all the might of the government, with all the media support and manipulation and pressure on media, he conducted about 200 rallies and processions and conventions, whereas Rahul and his allies, the India allies, they were short of that. They could not really, because the government has been bringing a lot of impediments on the election campaign of the opposition. So if we have these factors in our mind, then if Modi forms the government, which it appears that he would, but this time he would not look to be as strong, because the expectation of BJP and Modi alliance was altogether different, sweeping election. So we perhaps would not see that confidence and that kind of oppression which he has been imposing, because now he'll have a strong opposition, and the way he's been bulldozing previously, it would be very hard for him to really bulldoze that. Now, even Uttar Pradesh, yes, it was ideologically divided. There was an ideological battle, and a broader ideological battle it went on between BJP and Indian Alliance. So this context reflects by itself a deep political and social divide in the country, but most of it was in the rural areas. In the urban areas, there were some mixed feelings also, and BJP were able to really gain grounds in certain areas which were supposed to be totally divided and polarized.
Ambassador Khan, you just talked of the UP this time around. When we compare as to the results of the elections back in 2019, out of the total seats there in Uttar Pradesh, Bharatiya Janata Party was able to grab the 62 seats, with 2 seats of its alliance, making it in total 64 for the alliance it was part of. Now, when we talk about this time, the trend this time around so far suggests that Bharatiya Janata Party was leading only in 36 seats so far as the result that has been relayed so far. And when we talk about the Samajwadi Party, it has been able to grab more traction this time around, and we have also seen a considerable improvement in the performance of the Congress in Uttar Pradesh. Also, most surprisingly, the Faizabad constituency, which is home to the Ram temple in Ayodhya, the Bharatiya Janata Party is trailing, is behind in that particular constituency also. What sense that makes to you?
No, there are 2 points there. One, that the Congress party was able to propel their point of view in those areas, and they were able to dilute that radical kind of a feeling which was created by Bharatiya Janata Party. So that is one, and I must say that the campaigner and the Congress members and those who engaged in this area, they did it quite well. Secondly, the oppression by itself, it can bring silence for some time, but subsequently, once it comes to vote, people, they have their own free will to exercise. So my own understanding is that there was these, that, as I said, authoritarian democracy in which oppression was one of the tools which Modi and his party, and particularly supported by, not only supported, but spearheaded by the RSS. So that had really brought some kind of fear among the minds and hearts of the people. So once they got a chance to demonstrate their own free will, they did that, and that's why, in my view, you find that there is...
Moving on to our next very important point, is there any sort of a possibility when we talk about the chances of the Indian National Congress perhaps forming the new government, because the alliance, the NDA, the National Democratic Alliance, that is leading in around over 290 plus seats, it also has two parties which were formerly with the Congress, and they entered into alliance into NDA just some time before the elections were commenced. They are the Telugu Desam party, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, that is leading in 16 seats. On the 16 seats, and the Janata Dal United, it is leading on 14. Collectively, they are making around 30 seats. So we have also seen that Rahul Gandhi has also hinted that perhaps he could enter into negotiations or talks with these two political parties also. Could there be a possibility it could serve as a setback to Bharatiya Janata Party if these two parties break away from the NDA and enter into India Alliance?
Well, it all depends, because now once these two parties, they find that Rahul Gandhi would be in a position to form the government, then there could be all the possibilities and probabilities that the parties revert back to the Congress party. So yes, such parties, smaller parties, they definitely look into the interest of their own voter and supporter and interest of their party, and that's the reason if they have that chance of, bringing the balance or disturbing the balance of the total number of seats, then obviously they would go for their benefit. So if they get that much of benefit from Congress, then they don't have any love lost for the BJP, and in that case, it could be a Congress. But let's see about remaining 275 or 80 seats, the results on that. If it continues the way it is, with a thin majority and with these two parties getting more strength, then in that case, this very probabilities cannot be ruled out, and this very possibility cannot be ruled out, but there could be higher chances of this, because the Congress party, the way it has shown its performance this time, it appears that these two parties can consider going back.
Dr. Jamil Khan, former ambassador, thank you very much for taking time out for Views on News tonight. We really appreciate that. Dr. Wasi, what happened in